the insurance sky-high prices, and no one knows the difference. But court papers state no reasonable person would believe that the statements made therein were opinion. Let's bring in Fox News legal analyst Bob Massey. He is also the host of The Property Man. Good morning to you, Bob.
Good morning. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. All right, so Bob, this shocked me. I mean, I understand this can hurt someone's business if you write a negative review.
Yes.
But something like this encourages business owners to make good decisions, to be friendly, to be nice, to be above board. So what's defamation and what is free speech in this case?
So defamation is when you make a statement to a third party, either written or spoken, slander and libel, which causes some type of ridicule or embarrassment to that person. Now, let's say, Ainsley, she posts something that says, I went to see this doctor. His bedside manner wasn't that good. You know, just be prepared. If you see him, he's very good at what he does, but his bedside manner is not good. That's really an opinion. Now, when you start crossing the line and questioning the person's business techniques, basically there's an innuendo that maybe he doesn't have good business practices, that gets into disparagement. And as a result of that, she crossed the line. But in defamation, Ainsley, truth is an absolute defense. So let's say the statement she made is true and they could prove that, then she's not going to be found responsible for defamation. But the moral of the story is, don't say what you think all the time because it gets you in trouble.
Yeah, we learned that in media law. Truth is your best defense. Well, she says, she said the doctor charged her $1,300 for a new patient visit and for an ultrasound. She had to pay $427 out of pocket, and she said her annual was supposed to be free. And she said that the doctor claimed he gave a pelvic and breast exam, even though he didn't. So we'll have to figure out, I guess, through the courts, what was truth and what was not. So should a negative Yelp... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you were going to ask me the question. I'm sorry.
Should it cost her $1 million?
Well, I don't think it's going to cost her that kind of money because, remember, the doctor in this case, he's not a public figure. Public figures, they have to prove malice. Now, as it relates to the doctor, he's going to have to prove some type of actual damages. Did he lose business as a result of it? Can he show he lost business? So in the long run, I don't know what the cost is going to be. And this is a type of case many times, Ainsley, that goes into mediation where they may get it resolved. But I think for all of us as viewers, most of the time what happens, you have a bad experience, you go to Yelp, you write an emotional response, and unfortunately the average layperson doesn't understand that words in my world can cost you money. And in this case, this doctor is going to have a heck of a lot more money to prosecute this case than this young woman's going to have, and I don't mean to be presumptuous, to defend the case.
Yeah, it's already cost her $20,000. Thanks so much, Bob. All right, you can catch his show Friday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on FBN on Fox Business Network. Thanks, Bob. Prepare for action. That warning sparking panic across an entire state, but we just learned it was a false alarm. How does that happen? And First Lady Melania Trump firing back at the media after they pushed conspiracy theories about her disappearing from the public eye. Keep in mind she just had surgery. Dana Lash is here to react to that next.
I love it when you go crazy. You take all my inhibitions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. You take me places that tear up my reputation, manipulate my decision.
If I looked like that, I would have been president 10 years earlier. If I had that face, if I had that head of hair, I would have been president so long ago. That's great.
That is your shot of the morning, and that's Jordan McClin the president was referring to, stealing the show as the president signs the Right to Try bill. He's dealing with muscular dystrophy, got out of a wheelchair to stand next to the president as he signed that bill.
He's 8 years old. He's from Indianapolis, and you can clearly see that he got a hug and a kiss from the president on his forehead.
That's right. The bill is partially named after Jordan, who, as Brian said, suffers from a form of muscular dystrophy. This bill allows terminally ill patients to try experimental treatments, hence the right to try. You've seen places, especially in the UK, with socialized medicine, where the government tells you can or can't do something. They're trying to prevent that.
Like the little babies who are they're pulling the plug on the babies when the parents want to take them to another country and the hospital won't allow it.
Yeah. Don't want that here in America. Well, let's bring in Dana Lash, nationally syndicated radio talk show host. Dana, good morning. Thanks very much for being here. So yesterday, there was a summit with a Kim. It just wasn't Kim Jong-un. It was Kim Kardashian. She was at the White House. Here's what the president tweeted about their meeting. He said, great meeting with Kim Kardashian today. Talked about prison reform and sentencing. But the media took a sideways view of it, Dana. We're going to play 2 clips. Jim Acosta of CNN likes being on TV. This is what he said about Kim Kardashian's visit at the White House. Listen.
Forget about the fact that Kim Kardashian is here at the White House today and what planet that is anything resembling normal, because it's not. She shouldn't be here talking about prison reform. It's very nice that she is here, but that's not a serious thing to have happened here at the White House.
She shouldn't be there. He was singing a different tune in 2015, and thanks to the magic of videotape. This is Jim Acosta talking about John Legend when Obama was president.
I'm going to push the president to get more involved in criminal justice reform. I'm going to suggest some ideas that we think could help improve the situation.
If you change your mind about running for office, give CNN the scoop.
I will. I will.
A little bit of different tune there, Dana.
Yeah, it's a hugely different tune, bigly, because this is Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta's a partisan. He doesn't hide the fact that he's a partisan. I just wish that people would stop unnecessarily hammering the administration, even on things they know they agree on or things that they know aren't that big of a deal, but they do it anyway because it's Trump. And this idea, well, she shouldn't be there. I can't believe he actually said those words. Every single person in the United States, be they a famous person or not, has the right, and they have, if they can meet with the president. They can go to Washington, D.C. That's what makes the United States different from Britain, is because we don't have like a special nobility class here. You don't have to be a special person to engage in policy discussion, whether you're John Legend or Kim Kardashian. But it's so fascinating how much they gave, how big of a pass they gave to the previous administration just because it was Barack Obama and Democrats as opposed to Trump and Republicans.
I mean, we have a list of all these celebrities that have come to the White House in the past. It was celebrity heaven. No one had a problem with Leo DiCaprio, Tiger Woods, Beyonce, who's married to Jay-Z, who's texts with the president on a daily basis.
In the White House.
Yeah, I mean, just to say, and the multiple visits. So I just thought that was commonplace. You know, Sylvester Stallone wanted Jack Johnson to get a pardon. He knows the president, picked up the phone. That's part of it. And the president's got a relationship with Jay-Z. He's going to be able to go back and forth and maybe get some influence there. That's a part of it. You can't have it both ways.
No, you can't. Beyonce was a huge figure in the previous administration. I mean, how many times did they visit the White House? And how many times did she partner up with the First Lady on a number of different initiatives? And then, you know, you had the jazz nights at the White House, the blues nights at the White House. You had U2 that was at the White House. I mean, so this has happened. The previous administration was the celebrity administration. It was the Hollywood administration. They loved and they bragged about the fact that they were so close to celebrities. Where was Jim Acosta's whining then?
Exactly.
Well, let's talk about Melania, too. The media is going after Melania for not being out in public since the middle of May. Where is she? Keep in mind, she just had surgery. These are some of the headlines. Time magazine says Melania Trump tweets she's feeling great. She hasn't been seen publicly in weeks. CNN says Melania Trump hasn't appeared in public for 20 days. Mercury News, missing Melania Trump. The First Lady tweets she's feeling great. Mystery remains. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, she's had surgery. The White House was very forthright about the procedure that she had done. They were very forthright about how she was going to recover and where she was going to recover. I mean, we're not at Hillary Clinton levels of conspiracy with our health here. So I think that the media needs to maybe perhaps chill out a little bit. I mean, she's on Twitter. She's still tweeting. She's still active. In fact, I think she responded to the media just this morning. But again, it's the hypocrisy. This is why conservatives get so aggravated. They get aggravated at media hypocrisy. Because Hillary Clinton, if she falls down in the street and leaves a shoe behind and conservatives ask questions about it, they're called conspiracy theorists and fearmongers, and that they're attacking Hillary Clinton and that we're sexist. But then with something like this, the media is hounding Melania Trump. I mean, she's not a hostage. She's the First Lady. She had a procedure done. They were open about it. Lay off.
She tweeted about it. She said, I see the media is working overtime speculating where I am, what I'm doing. Rest assured, I'm here at the White House with my family, feeling great, working hard on behalf of children and the American people.
Yes, exactly. And here's legacy media that's once again trying to find a conspiracy where there is none. If they only were this attentive during the previous administrations, I would have loved to have seen media work this hard then.
Yeah.
Well, and even if she didn't want to come out, is it anyone's business what she's doing? I mean, she's not the president.
Well, she's not. I mean, you're absolutely right, Ainsley. She's not. But even then, they've been entirely forthright about it. They've said exactly what it is that she had done and how she was going to recover. And I mean, it's amazing that the media is so obsessed with this. Are they going to send Bob Mueller after Melania Trump? Is that what's going to happen next? Is Bob Mueller going to add this to his witch hunt list?
They might as well toss it in. Yeah. To the probe.
Hey, Dana Lash, thanks so much.
I mean, at this point, right? Everything's fair game. Yeah.
True.
Thank you guys so
Thanks,
much.
Dana.
Have a good week.
You too.
All right, we're going to toss it over to Jillian Mealy. Good morning.
Sometimes you just don't feel like going outside, you know? Good morning to you guys.
Especially after surgery.
Exactly. Good morning to you at home. America's longest war could finally be coming to an end. A top U.S. commander in Afghanistan now revealing that secret talks are underway with high-ranking Taliban leaders. Their goal? To negotiate a peaceful end to the 17-year war.
A number of channels of dialogue have opened up between the various stakeholders in the peace process.
In August, President Trump announced a new war strategy, including loosening the rules of engagement. Back from the dead, a Ukrainian reporter shocking everyone when he appeared alive at a news conference just one day after he was reportedly shot and killed. So here's what happened. The Ukrainian government actually staged the death to foil a real-life murder plot against the journalist who had criticized the Kremlin. Not even his wife knew. A man involved in the alleged Russian plot to kill him is under arrest. A civil emergency in this area. Prepare for action. An official now apologizing for that alert, which sparked panic in Salem, Oregon. The incomplete message was supposed to let people know about toxins in the water supply. It took 31 minutes to clear up the glitch with a follow-up message, but people were already stripping water from store shelves. It comes months after Hawaiian officials sent a false emergency warning of an incoming missile. Just take a look at this photo, a really touching photo of a police officer comforting a newborn baby that's now going viral. That's Dallas officer Donald Boyce holding baby Jackson moments after he was pulled from an overturned car. The officer's fatherly instincts immediately kicking in, bouncing and singing to the little boy. Boyce says he would want someone treating his child the same way. No one in the car crash was seriously hurt. Isn't that a beautiful photo?
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Jillian.
Yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. All right.
Talk about beautiful.
You took it from me. You took it from me.
Yes, you are, Janice.
Oh, my gosh. That's the best compliment of the day. You know what? Today is National Smile Day, and I have all these big smiles for you to take a look at. Ed is going to show you this great crowd. Give me your biggest smile, everybody, for National Smile Day. Good job. What ambassadors right here. Let's take a look at the maps while we're looking at these beautiful smiles. And you know what, producers? We could actually do a split screen of all these amazing people and the current temperature, 65 here in New York. There we go. Smile, everybody. You're on television. You're on Fox and Friends. Look at this lovey. Okay, first of all, we have showers across the eastern seaboard and the potential for severe weather. And let's talk to her. What's your name?
Kendall.
Where are you from?
Florida.
Is this your first trip to New York?
Yes.
What do you think of the weather?
Good.
Give me your best smile for National Smile Day. Right there.
Jeez, nicely done, everybody. Woohoo!
We love New York. We love Fox and Friends. We love you, Kendall. You're welcome. Back to you.
You found a cutie.
Yes, you did. Thanks, Janice. Thanks, Kendall.
Thanks, well, the media puts out a lot of narratives about Republicans, but this one really stands out.
The men, especially, are all programmed a certain way. They don't have too many outliers, Republicans. They all behave basically the same, right?
Turns out there's a Republican checklist, according to him. Your emails are pouring in, and we're bringing it to you next.
Plus, you saw them talking politics earlier, and now Diamond and Silk are about to make a dessert for us. We are cooking with friends coming up.
Some quick headlines now. Robot, move over just a little bit. Thank you. An illegal immigrant loses a game of hide and seek with border agents. Here he is, buried inside a shipment of wood shavings. An X-ray detected the man when the truck arrived at a checkpoint in San Diego. There you go. That man and the driver both arrested. Wood's okay. And another horrible hiding spot, this time in Florida. You got a man popping out of a chimney to surrender to police. Deputies say he stole a U-Haul, led cops on a chase, rammed a police car before jumping into his hiding spot, which was a chimney. He faces several charges. He's going to have trouble having friends.
It's a rough hiding spot.
Right.
Well done, Brian.
Thank you very much.
One of your best reads ever.
Thank you. 15 minutes before the top of the hour, let's talk about stereotypes.
Yes, so if you were watching another channel, a host on that channel has a theory about if you're a Republican out there, you've been programmed a certain way. Listen to what he had to say.
Is that a cultural problem with the Republican Party as opposed to most Americans? Republicans are told, read the Wall Street Journal, play golf, and talk about pro sports. I mean, the men especially are all programmed a certain way. They don't have too many outliers, Republicans. They all behave basically the same, right? You must play golf. You don't play tennis. You must watch sports and talk about the NFL. You must talk. And what else? Oh, read the Wall Street Journal. And believe the op-ed page.
So, yeah, this is the Chris Matthews checklist. If you're a Republican, you read the Wall Street Journal, play golf, and do pro sports. So, listen, I make no bones about it. I'm not a journalist. I'm a conservative. I'm a Republican. I don't play golf. And I read the New York Post. I like the Wall Street Journal, too.
This was Hillary Clinton's Republican woman checkbox.
What does that say?
You vote for who your husband tells you to vote for.
Right. That was one of her excuses. Here's what you people have said out there, and I'll start with Stephanie. I do not play golf, Stephanie says. I do not care for sports, and I definitely do not watch ESPN or any other sports channel. Neither does my husband, Chris. Chris needs to do a little research on what conservatives' interests are.
Yeah. Rob says this, not programmed at all. We can think for ourselves, and liberals like Chris Matthews hate that. True.
And then Jeannie says, my dad and husband, both Republicans, their entire lives, did none of those things, nor do any other Republicans I know. Once again, so out of touch.
Well, and by the way, if you understand why, if that was the case, President Trump wouldn't have won. If you look in the audiences of people are there, they are working. A lot of them are working class people that don't fit the criteria of what he thinks Republicans are. Maybe that's the problem. It's because he won in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and these places.
Chris Matthews still lives in a world where it's just country club Republicans and a bunch of white men playing golf reading the Wall Street Journal, and the world has changed.
Well, what's wrong with reading the Wall Street Journal?
Nothing.
Reading the news? What's wrong with getting out there and playing some sports?
Nothing. Maybe have a beer, too.
Or whatever it is. Lots of business deals are done out on the golf course. You're making money for your family.
You say you got to stop categorizing people. Can we be individuals?
That's all the left does. They see you as a collective box of a skin color or a gender or a background. That's it. And conservatives believe
politics, right?
Exactly. Conservatives believe you're an individual. Every individual can be different. They're empowered by God. I mean, this stuff is just nonsense. But I do have a tingle up my leg, Chris Matthews.
Right. All right, Pete, whose socks match his tie, and he's not embarrassed about it.
Yours, Brian?
No. Meanwhile, you saw them talking politics earlier. Now, Diamond and Silk, according to reports, are about to make dessert with Cooking with Friends.
But first, let's check in with Sandra Smith to find out what's coming up at the top of the hour on her show. Hey, Sandra.
Hey, good morning, Ainsley, Brian, and Pete. Well, Mike Pompeo and a North Korean official meeting in New York this hour after a working dinner last night. So is that June summit back on? Meanwhile, Rudy Giuliani says Mueller would be doing a Comey if he doesn't turn over his Russia investigation report by September 1st. So will he? All of this as the president makes his way down to the Lone Star State today. We've got a jam-packed show for you. Corey Lewandowski, Brett Baer, David Bossie, and more. Join us live in America's Newsroom, top of the hour.
All right. Well, as you know them on social media, they are stars. They aren't afraid to stir up some discussion, some conversation about politics. But now they are whipping up some banana pudding.
Yes. Back with us for Cooking with Friends, Diamond and Silk. Take it away.
Hey, some good old banana pudding now. Now, Silk is the cooker, so she loves to cook up this here stuff.
I love to cook and I love to eat.
Yes. But Mother used to make this here for us a long time ago, right?
Mother, are y'all sisters?
Yeah, we are blood sisters.
I never knew that.
Yes.
I said that from the break.
That's breaking news. We're blood sisters. Yeah. So mommy would make this hair stuff for us. So then she pass it down to Silk. So Silk do it, but she do it without sugar, and it's so good.
Without adding the sugar. It's about adding a combination of ingredients together to give you the illusion of the sweetness, okay? The illusion of the sweetness without adding all of that extra sugar.
Okay, so let's put some stuff together.
All right, so as we're blending the pudding right now,
do you do just box pudding and you do sugar-free?
No, we do the box pudding. I do not do the sugar-free pudding.
Okay.
Okay, I do the regular pudding because we want to keep the combination of the sweetness there, the flavors there, okay?
Without adding white sugar.
Right. So you go ahead on and you stir in
what is that?
the puddings. This is a different combination of puddings. The vanilla, the banana, and the cheesecake puddings all blended together.
Okay. You want to stir it slowly.
You're right. You want to stir it slowly as it's cooking and so forth.
That's what Diamond does a lot of staring and Silk does a lot of stirring.
Well, no, I'll do a lot of eating, and while Silk is doing a lot of cooking.
Right. So we get this, let's say, the illusion that that's done.
Right. Okay, so after that's done, and then it's time to prepare the banana pudding itself. So you want to make sure that you layer the bottom of your bowl with the Nilla wafer. Some people call it vanilla wafer.
Do not do
but
that.
It's Nilla wafer.
That's
right.
No V.
Exactly.
That's right.
After you layer the bottom of it, then you want to take and you want to put your bananas on.
Hand cut, right?
Hand cut, chopped, however you choose, whatever your desire is, okay?
Right.
Okay, and then after you layer the bananas, then you want to do your next layer of cookies.
Right.
Okay? After you do your next layers of cookies and you lay them on there.
Bisco loves
and let me
this.
tell you something. Let me tell you something. The reason why you want to do this is because if you take and you layer the pudding onto the next layer, what's going to happen is going to make the cookies soggy.
And you don't want
We
that.
don't want the cookies soggy, okay? So then after you layer your cookies,
we pour something else
then
in?
Then you want to take and pour the pudding on.
Can I do that?
Yes.
Okay.
And here's the kick.
Because Diamond's not going to do anything, obviously. I have to do everything.
I'm going to eat it.
You're afraid to touch it.
I want to know.
But here's the kick. Do not stir it. Whenever you pour it on, just do not stir it. Let the pudding go on and sit. Okay? That's right. That's
Stir
right.
the pot.
What is it like around the dinner table with the two of you? Do y'all talk? They say don't talk politics, don't talk religion. Do y'all do that?
We do talk about our president because everybody in our family pretty much loves him.
That's right.
Okay, because he's doing a phenomenal job. So it's okay. He ready to eat. Okay. You didn't do the layer right. You didn't do the presentation is good. So let's dig in, you all. Let's see how this will take.
And that's what we end up with.
That's what we end up with, you all.
It's like these cookies can't breathe, right? They're stuck at the bottom. Help me.
That's right.
Okay.
I gotta say, this is
And then at the end, spray some whipped cream on top, and voila, there you go.
Oh, you need the whipped cream on yours.
All right, good.
Banana pudding without sugar, but packed full of
You can go to
sweetness.
foxfries.com for the recipe.
Yep. And will we survive? We're going to eat this during the break. We'll come back.
We'll see. I'm watching you.
Okay.
It's yours.
We are family. Hey, I got all my sisters with me. We are.
Tomorrow's the All-American Summer Concert Series. Yes. We also have Mark Levin and Sean Spicer on tomorrow.
Right. And if you have to run from the TV, run to the radio. Amongst our guests, Senator James Langford. How to speed up the nomination process.
Bring your banana pudding.
Oh, my God. It's fantastic.
Eat it all. You
You never eat. Fantastic.
Did you eat the jar?
Absolutely. And I'm taking this, even though it's not
Are you gonna kiss me or not?
We are awaiting an appearance by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo as he is set to begin critical talks with the former North Korean intelligence chief at this hour, a day of big meetings as the Trump administration pushes to keep that Singapore summit on the books. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith, live inside America's Newsroom this morning, and good morning to you.
Good morning to you. I'm Rick Leventhal in for Bill Hemmer. State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert saying the working dinner meeting was great last night, but there's still a lot of work to be done to get the highly anticipated meeting between Trump and Kim back on track. It's less than 2 weeks out from the date set for the summit, June 12th.
And quickly approaching, David Lee Miller is live in New York City for us this morning. David, what do we know about that big dinner last night?
Well, Sandra, the dinner took place in the building behind me, and that's where the talks are also being held. It was in an apartment that is used by the deputy representative, U.S. deputy representative to the United Nations. And we're told that this meal was a working dinner. The Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and the North Korean envoy Kim Young-chul have met twice before. And the purpose of the event last night, we are told, was so that they could get to know one another even better. The apartment has what we are told is breathtaking views of the New York skyline, and this is Kim's first visit to New York City. Secretary Pompeo pointed out various landmarks, including the United Nations and the Freedom Tower. They feasted, we are told, on beef, corn, and cheese, but at the end of the day,